Back, there are increasing concerns about the safety for people and animals living near the site of that major train derailment in Ohio. Hundreds were forced to evacuate, and now they're complaining of headaches and sore throats. And what's even worse, some animals are dying. Garrett Tenney joining us now from East Palestine, near the site of that derailment. Garrett, it's been almost 2 weeks. What can you tell us about what's happening there now?
Yeah, 2 weeks and still a lot of questions that are not answered, and that is leading to increasing frustration by the folks who live here. We spoke to a bunch of folks outside the grocery store last night here in East Palestine, and one common thread that we got from those conversations, that there is a real sense of distrust from a lot of folks here for anything that officials at every level have to say about how safe it is to be here. That really goes back to a week ago, when this evacuation order was lifted. Officials said at the time that tests showed that it was safe, but back then and even now, there are still a number of test results that we are waiting to get back. So a number of folks that we've spoken to, we've heard it from dozens of folks really now, is that they were being told one thing by officials, that it is safe to be here, there is no risk to your health, but in reality, they were living and experiencing something very different, with side effects that a lot of these chemicals are associated with. You mentioned the animals that have fallen sick, as well as the more than 3,500 fish that were found dead in the rivers and streams leading up to the Ohio River. There in the Ohio River now is this plume of toxic water that is now working its way down the Ohio River, gradually being filtered out. But that is a concern for a lot of towns. The Ohio River, it provides drinking water to more than 5 million people. That plume is now headed towards Huntington, West Virginia, and officials there and all along the river are closely monitoring this at their water filtration systems, potentially looking at whether or not they're going to need to shut the intake off and get their water from other sources until this works its way through and becomes less of a danger for them there. Officials say, though, that here in East Palestine, that all of the data they are seeing for both the air, the soil, the water is indicating there are no toxically harmful levels of these chemicals that are existing, and that folks should feel comfortable coming back here and at least just drinking bottled water until some of these tests on the well waters here come back in the next week or so. A lot of folks here, though, say that simply just can't be the case, because
Absolutely.
What they have seen and experienced is very different than that.
Right, with animals dying, people having side effects. Now, we know Ohio's governor is calling on Congress to look into this. What is he hoping to get out of this?
Yeah, well, the railways the states really have very little that they can do to manage and enforce rules on the railways, and that's done at the federal level. So what was really concerning about this particular train, it had around 150 train cars, but only 20 of them had these hazardous chemicals on board. So it wasn't classified as, being a dangerous load that it was being carried. So they didn't have to notify anyone all along the route that these chemicals were going to be coming through these towns. Technically, the governor said the railway didn't even have to notify the state after this spill happened. So he's saying if that's the case, and he's being told that it is, that something has to change, because trains like this are going through small towns like this and large towns as well, multiple times a day all across the country. And if the railways are not doing more to make sure this doesn't happen, then what happened here, if it happened in a much larger city, could be that much worse.
Okay, Garrett Tenney in East Palestine, Ohio. Thanks so much for that report. We appreciate your time.